What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at the FAQ for OP-12. And some of you at this point are going to go, well, hang on a second, Wassy. Didn't you just show us the FAQ for OP-11 a couple days ago? The answer is yes. However, the OP-11 FAQ was the English FAQ based on the English release, which is happening very shortly. And this OP-12 FAQ is the Japanese FAQ based on the Japanese release of OP-12. And as I always tell you, if you're going to play the game, you need to know the rules. And do bear in mind, when we talk about these FAQs, it's not just about these individual rulings I'm telling you today. It's a fact that the way they rule, once you get a hang of it, that is going to inform not just the cards we're talking about today, but every other set that ever comes out. Sounds like a plan? Excellent. So let's start off then, as we always do, at the start with our red rulings here, because we've got ourselves a leader Silver's Rayleigh. Now, this has a rule whereby you cannot put cards of a cost of 5 or more into your deck. Well, what about cards like Starter Deck 23 Uta, which do have a cost of 5 or more, but whose cost can drop to 4 or less due to an effect? No, because at the start of the game, they've got a cost of 5 or more. They don't go into the deck. Kroger's has a skill whereby you reveal 2 event cards from your hand and play a red character of a 3,000 power or less from your hand. Can I use this effect to reveal 2 event cards with the same card number from my hand? Yeah, it doesn't matter which ones they are. As long as there's 2 of them, we are good. Kazuki Oda's got an activate main once per turn. Reveal 2 event cards from your hand and it gets 2k more. Can I reveal the same 2 event cards? Yes. While we're here, Jinbei, yes, you can reveal the same 2 event cards. Hachan, yes, you can reveal the same 2 event cards. I don't think we need to keep going through this same ruling. Now, we got a Peony coming in here, which does not have this same ruling. Yay! And this has gotten, when you play it, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a Monkey D. Luffy or a red event, add it to your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Well, can I add a non-red Monkey D. Luffy to my hand with this effect? Yes, you can. It is a Monkey D. Luffy or a red event card. That's very, very important. And actually, while we're here, we do actually have a Boa Hancock coming around in the set. That on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a Monkey D. Luffy or a red event, add it to your hand. Same answer to the same question. Can you add a non-red Monkey D. Luffy? Yes, because it's Luffy or a red event. Does not have to be a red Luffy. That is very important. Speaking of which, there is a new Luffy in the set. And what we've got here is, well, it's that same ruling. You can reveal 2 event cards from your hand. They can be the same. Don't worry about it. We've got Not Doubting Is My Strength. This is a 0 cost event card here. And activate main, give 2 active Don cards to your Silver's Rayleigh. And then your opponent cannot activate blocker during this turn if the Rayleigh you gave the Don to attacks. Cool. Well, if I don't have Silver's Rayleigh on the field, can I do this? No! What are you going to do? Nothing. Gutted. Also, can I use it to give the character Silver's Rayleigh Don rather than the leader? Yeah, it just says Silver's Rayleigh. It does not specify leader, so you're good. Observation Hacky's got main. Give one of your Silver's Rayleigh an active Don. And then look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Find a red event or a free cost or more character. Add it to your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. If I don't have Silver's Rayleigh on the field, can I do this? No. Can I use this to give a character Silver's Rayleigh Don? Yes. Yeah, sometimes we do get several cards doing a similar thing. We're going to get the same rulings. Can I add a non-red character card of a cost of 3 or more to my hand? No. Because this specifically says a red event or a red character card of a cost of 3 or more. That is, it's just the wording, which is very, very important. The other card said Luffy or a red event. This says a red event or free cost or higher character. So red's at the start and is actually referring to all of them. Now, Conquerors Hockey, yes, there's a bunch of hockey coming in here, is a counter. One of your characters or Silver's Rayleigh gets 2k power for the battle, and then you can rest a Don, and all your opponent's leaders and characters get minus 1000 for the turn. Well, what if I don't have any Don? Can I still do this? Yes. But because you can't rest a Don, you don't get to lower power. You still give the 2k to Rayleigh, but you don't get the minus 1k to all your opponent's characters because you haven't rested a Don. That doesn't work. We've then got Armament Hacky here. There's a bunch of them. And you give one of your Silver's Rayleigh an active Don, and one of your leader or characters gets 1k for the turn. What if you don't have Silver's Rayleigh on the board? Then you can't use it. Sorry. What if I don't have any active Don? Well, you can't do that either. Because you can't give an active Don to Silver's Rayleigh. You have to have both Rayleigh and an active Don. If you don't have the two of them, sorry, it doesn't work. Never mind. Can I use it to give a Don to a character Silver's Rayleigh? Yes. Yes, you can. Just like all the other rulings along these lines. Now, Roanoa Zoro comes through as a leader in the set, and we got Don X free, activate main once per turn. When you're battling an opponent's character, activate this leader, but then you cannot attack characters of an original cost of 7 or less for the rest of the turn. Okay. Well, if you attack a leader and your opponent activates blocker, do I get to use the activate main? Yes, because even though you try to attack the leader, you actually attack the character, and that is the requirement for activating this. If I attack a character and the opponent activates the blocker of their leader, Doniote Rossante, can I activate the main effect? No. Even though you tried to attack a character, you actually ended up attacking the leader, which means you haven't met the requirement. If you've got 2 Don attached to it, you attack a character and a battle takes place. After the battle, can I attach a Don so there's now Don X free and then activate the main thing here? Yes, you can. The requirement is this turn, if it is the case that you have attacked the character, is literally what the card says. So as long as you have attacked the character at any point during the turn, you can put 3 Don on there and activate the character, and you're fine. When an opponent's character leaves the field during an attack step, block step, or counter step due to an effect, does this character's effect activate? No. Because you didn't battle a character. The rule here is really simple. You have to have attacked a character. If anything happens, and the situation is that you haven't attacked a character, you cannot activate this. It doesn't work. Ushionomaru here. On attack, if you have 3 or more Don attached, put one of your characters' original cost of 6 or less into rest. Well, what if you've got 1 or 2 Don on multiple characters? Does this work as long as it totals 3? Yes. It's 3 Don attached, not 3 Don attached to Ushionomaru. Now, Koshiro's got a really fun skill whereby if a character with the slash attribute at a cost of 5 or less, other than this character is KO'd by an effect, you may instead rest this character. Well, what if one of those characters and Koshiro are KO'd simultaneously by an effect? Can you still use this skill to save the other character? Yes. Yes, you can. What if I've got 2 Koshiro? Can I rest each of them to save the other? Yes. Yes, you can. One of the weirder rulings we've come across, but it's there and it works. Now, Kozuki Hyori here has an activate main, rest one of your Don and this character. If your leader is Zoro, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a slash attribute or a green event and add it to your hand. You can already guess what the rule is going to be here. If we got a slash attribute card that isn't green, can I add it to my hand? Yes, because the wording is slash attribute card or green event. Green only comes before event, so only refers to the event. We've also got ourselves Perona, And what we've got here from Perona is, on play, if the leader has the attribute slash, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a slash card or a green event, add it to your hand. Yes, it can be a non-green slash. It's the same ruling as Perona. We can move on. Now, Kazan Leader's got a really fun skill whereby when cards are discarded from your hand, because of an effect of a card with your Navy trait, draw the same number of cards you discarded. Well, when my opponent's card effect causes my Borsalino from OP-12 to leave the field, as a reminder, that's got a skill where once per turn, if this character leaves the field due to an opponent's effect, you can discard a card from your hand instead. Well, can I discard a card from my hand to save Borsalino and then draw a card because of my leader? Yeah. Because Borsalino is a Navy card and it's making you discard a card so you get to draw one. Easy. Now, Sanji gets a leader here with the skill whereby activate main once per turn, Don -1, activate an event which is Straw Hat with an original cost of 3 or less from your hand. Do these events go to the trash? Yes, they do. You don't just activate and keep it. That would be broken. Do I have to pay the cost? Yes and no. No, you do not pay the stated cost in the top left-hand corner of the card. Essentially, the Don -1 replaces the cost in the top left-hand corner. But if it's got Don -2 or trash a card from your hand or any other effect, you do have to do that. But the printed card in the top left-hand corner is replaced by Don -1. When activating Gum Gum Thunder from OP-09, do I need to Don -2? Yes, because that is not the cost of the card. It is a requirement of using the card, not the same thing. When an event is activated, can the effect of page 1 work, which works when you activate an event? Yes, because you activated an event. Can this activate main effect activate the counter or trigger effects of an event? No. So when you're activating an event here, you are activating the main part of an event. You cannot activate a counter because you're not countering an attack. You cannot activate the trigger because it's not coming out from your life as a trigger. It is only an activate main you can use here. Should be obvious, but you know someone's going to try it. You can now tell them WotC said no. And by WotC, I mean, the official website that gave us the rulings. But also WotC said no. Now, Zepha's got a nicely skill here, whereby on play, trash 2 cards from your hand. Well, if I've got 2 cards in my hand, including this, do I play and then just trash 1 card from my hand? Yes. Yes, you do. Because, again, it's not discard 2 cards to play this, in which case you have to discard 2. It's play, then trash 2 cards from your hand. If you've only got 1, you only get rid of 1. Doniote Rossante. Now, it's all over this set, but there is also just a character. 1 cost, nice small character. But on your opponent's turn, if your blue character with a Navy trait leaves the field due to an opponent's effect, you can rest this character instead and trash a card from your hand. Okay. Well, if this character is rested, can I just trash a card from my hand? No! You have to rest it and trash a card from your hand. If I've got 0 cards in my hand, can I just rest it and not trash from my hand? No! The rule is, on this card, you can rest and trash a card instead of your character leaving the field. If you cannot do both, you cannot save the character gutted. If this character would leave the field due to an opponent's effect, can I rest it and trash a card from my hand instead? Yeah, you can. That works absolutely fine. It doesn't say one of your other Blue Navy characters. It says one of your Blue Navy characters, and this is a Blue Navy character. There we go. Now, Monkey the Garp here's got a fairly nice skill. It's a super rare, should have a nice skill. On play, trash a card from your hand and play a character other than Monkey the Garp with 8,000 power or less that is blue and navy. Okay. Well, if my leader is Kazan, I trash a card from my hand. Can I then draw a card and, oh, it's a character, play that character? No. Because you only draw cards with Kazan after resolving Garp's play effect. So you trash a card from your hand, play a character, and then draw a card. And if that's a character, it's too late to play it. I'm sorry. Ice Block's Pig Beak. I'm going by the Japanese translations here. We've got ourselves a counter which says one of your leader or characters gets a 4k bump during the battle, then trash a card from your hand. If this is the only card in hand, can I do this? Yes. Because it is do this and then trash a card from your hand. If you don't have any cards in hand, you play this, you look, no cards in hand, job's a good 'un. Big difference between do this and then trash and trash in order to do this. I will make Whitebeard King. It's a 9-cost card, so it better be good. Activate main. If your leader is Whitebeard Pirates, reveal a card from the top of your deck. And if it's a character card with Whitebeard Pirates at a cost of 9 or less, you can play it. And it gains Rush for the turn. Okay. Well, what happens if I don't get to play a card? What happens to that card? Goes back on top of the deck face down. We've seen this ruling a bunch. This is how it always goes. If you cannot do what you're supposed to do with a card, it just goes back on top and you leave it. Course Crushing has a counter whereby if you've got 4 or more events in your trash, one of your leaders gets a 4k bump during this battle. Well, what if I've got 3 events in my trash and then I play this? Yeah, you're fine. Remember, when you play the card, it goes into your trash. It will then be the 4th event card in your trash. So by the time the card actually gets activated, there are 4 cards in your trash. You are good. Beef Burst. And yes, it literally is Beef Burst. That is exactly what the card says. I love it. If your leader is multicolored, choose one of the following. Return an opponent's character of a cost of 4 or less to their hand. Or if you've got 6 or fewer cards in hand, you get to draw 2. Well, what if I've got 7 cards in hand before I play this? Come on, you know this. You play the card, you then have 6 cards in hand, then you activate it, at which point you've got 6 cards in hand. You are good to go. Now, I said Doniote Rossante is all over this set. There is a leader, and it's got a couple of useful skills here. One of which says, once per turn, if your Trafalgore is KO'd, you can add a card from the top of your life to your hand instead. And the other is, once per turn, Don -1, and then the next Trafalgore you play this turn, which has a cost of 4 or more, is reduced by cost by 2. Well, if I've got 0 life, can I use the effect to add a life to my hand instead? No. And the thing here is very simple. You are adding a life to your hand instead. No life, no instead. Move on. Well, this activate main. Can I play a character from my hand that's not Trafalgore, and then the next Trafalgore with a cost of 4 or less will be reduced by 2? Yeah. Doesn't matter what else you do after activating this skill. It's after you activate this skill, the next 4 cost or higher Trafalgore. That is the one that's going to be impacted. What if I play a 3 cost or lower Trafalgore? Yeah, we ignore that. It doesn't matter. The only thing that's relevant is the next 4 cost or higher Trafalgore is going to be reduced. Well, what if I use the effect of another card to play a Trafalgore of a cost of 4 or less from my hand for free? Will I still get a reduction on the next Trafalgore I play? Yes, because you didn't play a 4 cost or lower for 2 cost less. You played one for free. That's not the same. Speaking of which, we do have a new Trafalgore in the set. It's got a very nice skill indeed, whereby on play, if the number of Don on your field is the same as or less than your opponent's, add a Don card from your Don deck active, and then all of your Doniote Rossante and Heart Pirate characters get a 1k bump for the turn. Well, if the number of Don on your field is greater than the amount of Don on your opponent's field, what happens? We don't get the extra 1,000 power. It doesn't work. Sorry. Never mind, eh? Miss All Sunday. On play, KO an opponent's character of a cost of 3 or less, and then your opponent may add a Don card from their Don deck active. Who decides whether they add a Don? Obviously your opponent. It would be ridiculous if you got the choice. You would always just say no. Now, grilled skewers activate main. If a number of Don on your field is equal to or less than the number of Don on your opponent's field, draw a card, and then one of your opponent's characters gets minus 3k for the turn. You know what this rule is going to be, don't you? If I've got more Don than my opponent, well, obviously I'm not drawing a card, but can I still have the minus 3,000 power? No, obviously not. Luffy is a man who will become king of the pirates. Weirdly not the only card with that name in the set. It's got a main. If your leader is Sanji, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add a card to your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Do I have to show the card to my opponent? No. Partly because the card doesn't say you have to, and partly because it's a secret. Like, it doesn't matter what the card is. Sometimes you have to show the card to prove it's a certain type of card. This doesn't have to be a certain type of card, so you don't have to show your opponent. Koala is my leader of choice for OP-12. I adore Koala. And we've got a skill whereby when you attack your opponent's leader, if you've got 2 or more characters of a cost of 8 or more, you draw a card. And once per turn, when your opponent plays a character with an original cost of 8 or more, or plays a character with an opponent's effect, then you can make them add the top card of your life to the hand. Okay. What if my opponent brings a character into play using Trigger? Does that work? No. Trigger isn't a character effect, it's essentially a gameplay effect. So no, a trigger playing a card for free will not activate this effect. If my opponent puts a character card of an original cost of 8 or more due to the effect of another character, can I use this to make them pick up 2 life? 1 because they played a character using an effect, 1 because it's an 8 cost or higher? No. It would be fun, but no, that definitely doesn't work. It's only 1. What if my opponent's got no life, and they play OP-06 Sanji, and then they use Sanji to play Lin Lin with the when played effect, and then Lin Lin gets them a life? Can I use the leader skill then to make them add it to their hand? The answer is yes. Essentially, they play Sanji, they have no life, you choose not to activate the effect, it would do nothing, they have no life. Then Charlotte Lin Lin gets played with the effect, at which point you activate the skill, they have to take the life into their hand. Now Calgara, that's right, there's a new Calgara here, and that says, on your turn, when a life is removed, draw a card, and then you cannot draw cards with your own effect for the rest of the turn. Well, does this effect activate when your life is taken or when your opponent's life is taken? Doesn't matter. It's when a life leaves, doesn't matter whose it is. If I've got 2 of these on my field, can I use this twice to draw 2 cards? No. Because after you draw with the first effect, you then are barred from drawing any more, so you go to draw with a second Calgara, which would usually be okay, and the second Calgara goes, sorry mate, you've already drawn, and you're now not allowed any more. Sorry about that. Never mind, eh? There is a new Shiraoshi coming in, obviously 0 power, Shiraoshi never has power. And we've got a skill here, whereby if your character of an original cost of 6 or less leaves the field due to an opponent's effect, you may instead turn the top card of your life face up. Well, if this card leaves the field due to an opponent's effect, can I do that? Yeah. It doesn't say your other character. It says your character, and this is a character of an original cost of 6 or less. So you're good. And then finally, the super rare Jewelry Bonnie. On play, if you got 8 or more rested cards, draw 2, trash 1, and then activate one of your Don. What if I've got 7 or fewer rested cards on my field? What happens then? Nothing. You know the deal at this stage. If you're told you must do something to activate 2 skills, in this case draw and trash, and then activate a Don, you cannot just not meet the requirements and only do the second part. All or nothing, ladies and gentlemen. All or nothing. So there we go, that's what you need to know. Another pretty chunky FAQ, but as I said at the start, and as I always say, if you're going to play the game, you need to know the rules. But now you do. So now it's over to you guys. Which ones of these make sense? Which ones of these are annoying? Let me know in the comment section. Good us. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.